We're going to start this week's press conference as we get ready for the final 2 home games of the regular season. Coach Hammock, team's riding high after a big win against UMass wins tonight. Talk about the preparation leading into a short week against Western Michigan.
No, obviously I thought, last game we were able to make plays in all 3 phases. Really like how our offense, defense, and special teams came together. We had a good week of preparation, a good week of practice. I continue to tell our seniors how good of a job they're doing leading our program. The standards and how we do things and our culture is very reflective of the older guys in our program. They're showing the younger guys how to work, how to act, how to respond to adversity. And I think that goes a long way for us being able to continue to get better. And that's what, we've been working on, trying to improve as a football team, trying to improve schematically, trying to improve physically, trying to improve with our play. And I think, that continues. The way we practice, the way we prepare, how we handle the challenges. I've been very proud of our players. Last week, we were able to play 68 of the 70 guys traveling. The only 2 guys that didn't play were the backup snapper and the backup kicker. So there's a lot of young guys getting valuable experience. In the second half, we played most of the second half with 6 true freshmen on defense, including 3 defensive linemen that were freshmen, a freshman linebacker, and then 2 freshman DBs. So those guys are gaining valuable experience. They've been working their tail off. We're trying to maximize the 4-game rule, and that's going to make us better as we continue to move forward. Obviously, it's a big week for us. We were able to game plan a little bit on the mini-bye, so we were a day ahead in preparation on Western Michigan. Very physical football team, play tremendous defense, has an offense that plays behind the quarterback in a physical manner. You can clearly see the identity that Coach Taylor wants to bring to his team, and we have to be able to match that intensity on Tuesday night. So we are excited about the opportunity to continue to get better as a team, and Western Michigan is our next challenge.
So, Coach, last 2 times you've played the Broncos, you come out the winner there. Just how is this team you're going to face on Tuesday different from some of those teams you played before?
Well, I think, they still have the same DNA of the past 2 teams we played, play hard, play physical in all 3 phases. This year they have a quarterback that brings the run element, and so they build their offense around him. I think they are a 70% run operation. So we have to be physical at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to start tonight for us in our preparation. Because we had a short turnaround, we're not going to be on the field longer than what we need to. We're going to go on the field, we're going to get our work done, keep our players fresh, and get them excited for Tuesday night, which would be a great opportunity at home.
Heading that UMass game, I know there was talk about, getting improvement in the trenches, especially how things played at Toledo. Just what have you liked from how your units have responded to, a bad game over the season, like defense from Ohio to Ball State, offensive line from Toledo to UMass? Just how you like the rebounds there?
I think after the Toledo game, we had a team meeting. And, in those team meetings after a game, you have a choice. You can move on from that game, or you can show things that we need to get better. And I woke up that morning, I had a cut-up made, and I explained to our football team, if we want to get better, we need to get better now. And so we looked at that tape with a critical eye. We talked about the details of performance and things that we needed to do better. And we really harped on that as a coaching staff in practice last week, and I thought it bared results in the game. I remember on Thursday of last week, which is, kind of like your light practice of the week, I didn't like how we were operating from an offensive standpoint. I sent our offense back in and told them to put their pads on. Well, normally you don't put your pads on a Thursday because you're trying to get your body where it needs to be. But from a focus standpoint, I thought our focus needed to be better. So they went out there and they put their pads back on. I'm sure people were mad at me under their breath. But I told them after practice, I'd rather you be mad at me on Thursday and happy for me on game day. and I thought they went out there and executed at a high level on offense. So we got to continue to work on the focus that it takes to play at a high level to get better. And I think, that carried over throughout that whole game. And then hopefully we can carry that momentum from last game into this week and continue to play better as the season ends.
And talk about all these younger guys that have been getting playing time, and then we've seen some younger guys, get some good reps over the season. Just who's looked promising to you so far?
Yeah, without giving names, right? I don't want people looking up my guys, but we've had some guys, like we had a freshman defensive lineman. He played 39 snaps in the game on the other night. So those guys are getting better, but that's what we saw when they was on the scout team. They were giving us a tremendous look on the scout team. A couple of our DBs that played the other night were giving us a tremendous look, and we wanted to reward them and their hard work, and they went out there and made plays. Amari Washington, they didn't give him a sack, but it should have been a sack fumble. He caused the quarterback to fumble the ball behind the line of scrimmage on a pass. He should have had his first sack of the season. But to say we played with a bunch of young guys that have earned the opportunity, that continue to work and get better, I think that's a testament to our seniors. And I try to tell them that every week. They don't see it, right? We've had a tough year, but the foundation is laid for growth. And obviously I have experience of being through this. In 2020, in COVID, we didn't win a game, and then we won the championship in 2021. The foundation and the culture is so much better now. It just we had some attrition. We had a bunch of seniors that grew throughout our program. Then we lost some guys to the transfer portal. And so when you say you lose 50 guys from your team from the previous year, that makes an impact. But hopefully now we are in a much better position to retain the guys on our roster, where now we can see that continued growth as guys continue to get better.
Can that be another version of complementary football where it's your starters played so well in the first half that it's letting those guys get actual game reps, which gets them off their feet late in the year?
Yeah, I was happy that we were able to play the way that we played, knowing that we had a 6-day turnaround for Western Michigan. So, I don't know if we had a starter play more than 35, 40 snaps, which in a normal game, you're playing 65 to 70 snaps. So to have the ability to have the game in control, and our young guys went out there and played their tail off, which was good to see. Sometimes when you have a lead and you substitute people, then the game turns into something different. You have sloppy play, you give up points. I think we had 3 penalties the whole game. We gave up 3 points, and almost half that game was with guys that were, backups. So I was very pleased. I know our starters and guys that played significant snaps for us were able to conserve their bodies a little bit. And so now I'm looking forward to a great practice tonight to get ready. And that's the other thing we did. We went to night practices tonight and tomorrow to also maximize the recovery time with our players. In the NFL, when you go from a Sunday game to a Thursday game, you normally practice at night, so guys have more time to recover and rest and eat and feel fresh. And also, we want to practice around the time that we play.
And then, Coach, obviously Tuesday marks NIU's final midweek action game. Just what's it like to kind of see that era come to an end?
Well, based on our travel schedule after UMass, we got back at 3 a.m. and then we got back at 3 a.m. and Thursday was a Monday of game week. So then we had a walkthrough yesterday. I'm good on action. I loved it at the time, but I loved it based on the ability to play, have 7 days in between, and you treat it like a normal week. So now we had 2 road games of action. Then you got a 6-day turnaround. That was a heavy lift for us as a coaching staff and then for the players. So I think our players, we had a walkthrough last night. They were moving around, fresh, energized. And then we gave them all day today, and we'll practice tonight. and get ourselves ready to play. But we will be excited. We're going to have a great week of preparation, and we know we have to have our best game plan and play our best to give ourselves the best chance.
Now, there's a video from you in the locker room after the UMass win where your message was keep the momentum. Just what's the keys to doing that, especially with your shortest turnaround of the year being 6 days?
Yeah, no, I think to keep the momentum, our seniors got to keep the momentum, and they've done that. I mean, like I said, I can't give those young men enough credit for what they've done, how they've handled the locker room, the standards and expectations. A guy like Evan Malcore, he's done it as well. You know, he put a message in that I thought was so paramount last week to the offense. He said, we have to keep the standard. And that was after the Toledo game. And just those type of moments that you don't have a chance to see, but that's going on behind the scenes, has given us a chance to continue to fight, to continue to get better. And I think that's laying the foundation for us to really, really propel.
And you know, what's it mean to be able to close out this season at home, at least with these back-to-back home games?
No, I think it'd be great. Obviously, Western Michigan is fighting for an opportunity to go to the MAC championship. So, you know, we stand in their way. So what a great opportunity to use that as motivation. And then having a home game after Thanksgiving is big, right? Because, you know, when we had an away game, you know, we let the kids go home for Thanksgiving and then come back. Well, that creates more stress. Well, we know we're going to have a big Thanksgiving meal for our players. It sounds like a bunch of parents are coming in town, so we're going to give them the night to have Thanksgiving with their family if they choose. If their family's not coming up, we're going to have our own Thanksgiving meal for our players, and then go play on Friday and at home in a comfortable environment and try to end the season on a positive note on Senior Day.
And obviously, coming up off a performance like Jalen's on Wednesday night, just what's your plan to approach the quarterback situation this week? Obviously, there's practice to be had, but what's your view on it?
Yeah, I think you know, Jalen has at least earned the opportunity to be out there another week, and so we're going to give him that. You know, he obviously provided a spark. He galvanized the offense. We were able to score more points than we have all season, and I think he was a major reason why. And so that's what we have been missing from an offensive perspective, a guy that can, you know, make plays, get guys energized, get guys to play above their level, and he was able to do that. And I've been very pleased that he went out there at least for 1 week and was able to put a performance like that together. Now he has an opportunity to come back and do it again. And so, you know, he's a young man that's been through a lot of adversity, a lot of up and downs throughout his career. And maybe now you learn from those experiences, and that helps you go out there and perform the way that you need to perform.
Can that be the next step in the evolution of his game, where now it's, if he plays again this week, it's now how do you deal with a team that now has scouted a full game of you playing quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think when you're talented like he is, you just got to make sure you are preparing the right way and putting in the time in the film room. The things that you did last week, you got to continue to do. And he has to make sure he use all of his experiences and use that as motivation because he's been through a lot. He had an injury this year that he came back from. It took a while, but he's back healthy. Use those experiences to keep you motivated, you know, weekly. And he was in the office 8 o'clock this morning watching tape. We don't have practice till, you know, 6 o'clock tonight. And, you know, that's what it's about. How are you preparing? How are you handling your craft? How are you handling success in this day and age of social media and everything else? And you got to keep the same mindset. You got to handle success and failure with the same attitude. It's about the process of how you go about things. Because I told the guys, and I saw this a while ago, you know, the results of a game are a distraction, right? If you win a game, are you going to commit yourself to the same process? If you lose a game, are you going to commit yourself to the same process? So that part is a distraction. The only thing that you're guaranteed is the process that you go about, how you prepare, how you get ready, how you perform. And that's why, you know, when guys are playing, stay committed and recommit yourself to the process of playing your best football.
You've already talked a little bit about Western's quarterback, Brock Lowry, but it looks like as the season's progressed, he's being leaned on a lot more in the running game. With the quarterbacks you've seen so far in the league this year, is the plan of attack against him any different?
Well, I think, number one, they have a good running backfield. Buckley is a kid from right down the road at Batavia that we looked at coming out of high school. They have good running game. Obviously, when you run the quarterback as much as they run the quarterback, you have to have great eye discipline on the back end of your defense, because now the play-action pass becomes your kryptonite, right? All of a sudden, this guy's acting like he's running, then now you see a receiver shooting down the field. So we got to have great discipline on the back end of our defense, great eyes in the passing game, because that's sometimes where they could hurt you more than what he's doing in the running game.
Good. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
So this week our student athletes are redshirt senior safety Muhammed, Jammeh, redshirt junior offensive tackle Evan Malcore. Scott, what questions for you guys?
All right, Evan, I'll start with you. So first, just give me your thoughts on what it was like to see that offensive line, come back and have the performance they did at UMass after their outing at Toledo.
Yeah, I think it's really tough to come back, especially in college football, to not get in your head after a tough game. And I think the guys prepared the right way, and it lit a fire under them. And excited to see what they can do the next 2 weeks.
And we'll start with a simple question there. Just how'd you like how the defense did? Giving 50 points to a Division I FBS team, nonetheless.
Obviously, we know we had the capability to do that because we shut out one of the top G5 teams. We held them to like 6 points. So, we always knew we had the capability to do that. After last week's performance, too, we kind of just wanted to, just remind ourselves and remind the country who we are as a defense. And, yeah, it would have been better to get a shutout, but, 3 points is fine, too. Yeah.
And just this will be for both of you. Just how you think this team's handling, a short turnaround like 6 days as it gets ready for a Tuesday night game?
Just with Hammock, he kind of like, as he said, he talked about the schedule. He gets our bodies right. He tries to give us, the most time, so we can implement, recovery. Just make sure we're getting ourselves ready to go before it's time to practice. So I think night practices, will help us get acclimated to, playing a night game too. And, obviously we didn't really get the, 1 day break or like, a couple days off with the short turnaround. But, football is football, and, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback off that. It's like that. This is what this team is about. I mean, just gritty, the hard way. That's what we're about. I mean, short weeks. I wouldn't do it with any other team. This team knows how to, have tough situations and come out on top.
See Jalen have the performance he had, and what are you looking forward to seeing from him as he prepares to make another start?
Yeah, I think the big thing he had was confidence. I think that's really important as an offensive player, and he showed out with a ton of confidence and did what he needed to do.
And then just for both of you, this will be the last midweek matching game. Just a single question I asked the coach: just what's it like to kind of be done with that era almost?
More so for me, it's kind of like it's kind of bittersweet. Never really thought about this moment right now when I first came on the NIU campus. So it's kind of like surreal. Just looking forward to the next chapter, just looking forward to the next chapter for this team, going to a new conference. So, I'm excited for them, but, I'm also excited, for what I have, in the future.
Muhammad, when you talk about a quarterback from Western Michigan, Lowry, he's good passing, but also with his legs, almost 100 yards this past week. Talk to me about the keys for you guys, especially in the secondary against Lowry.
Yes, sir. Obviously, even with yesterday's practice, a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, a lot of eye candy. He's a great runner. He's a big, solid dude. Gonna have to hit him low, chop the tree down. But Western Michigan, their offense, obviously they impose a strong run game with the quarterback, the running back. So I seen the running back before, like 2 years ago when we shut him out. So I kind of have like a nice feeling for him. But the quarterback, the offense runs through him. So it's gonna be a lot of eye candy. Just gotta stay disciplined in the back end. Just tackle the ball and make plays.
Evan, for you, their defense has been really stout as of late, especially getting pressure. They got a guy who can get to the quarterback, almost 11 sacks. Talk to me about what the keys are for you guys on the line going against that defensive line.
Yeah, I think it's just doing your job. That's kind of it. I mean, as long as everybody can do their 111th, I know what we can do, and we showed it last week. So as long as we're able to run the football, stay out of the crappy situations and the passing situations, we'll be just fine.
And then Evan, I know Coach talked about that message you have for the offense of keep the standard. Can you just talk a bit more about the timing of your message and kind of elaborate on what it means?
Yeah, I think as an older guy, you've kind of seen a lot more than some of the younger players, and it's easy to lose perspective as a younger player. So just reminding those guys that it's still a loss. It's still one loss in the category. It doesn't really matter what the score was. So keep in perspective on the next week, and I'm glad they attacked it this week to get the win.
Just a real quick question for both of you from that UMass game. Obviously, they hit the field goal to avoid the shutout, and then the fireworks go off. Just what was your reaction to that?
When they made it, I kind of dropped to my knees, just jokingly, because I really, really wanted that shutout. But it was kind of funny because I seen the whole crowd and the fireworks. It was they saved those fireworks for the whole game. So I guess they were really wanted to score a lot more points than what they did. So I guess they just shot out all the inventory.
Yeah, I thought it was honestly a good addition. They actually looked pretty cool if you get rid of the scoreboard. So I'll just keep it at that.
You guys, you do have a chance here now to, salvage the season probably is the wrong way to say it, but you have a chance here to finish winning 4 out of 5, especially with 2 home games coming up. I know it's 1 week at a time, but still there is a chance here to make the season look a lot better than what I'm sure people would have thought of a month ago. Obviously the mindset is Western only, but still for a chance to make the season look a lot better was for you guys to try and keep this momentum going, having won 2 of the last 3.
Obviously, just having pride, just not laying down. Obviously, the season hasn't gone how we wanted it to be. It's 1, 2, 3 plays each game that could change our season ultimately. Just focusing on the little things, just focusing on what you didn't do, last game, what you didn't execute the right way. So, just offense and defense, just, coming together, building that bond, just working on everything, just thinking about what we've been doing since, the spring, the summer, to now. It's just why give in, just go out for the seniors, for the younger guys, for the coaches, because, everybody spends so much time doing this. So it's why give up?
Yeah, and I also think just going out the right way and focusing on us. Doesn't really matter who we play if we know how to execute. We can beat anybody, so that's going to be big. I'm just focusing on us for the last 2 games.
And just to read for both of you, just with you guys being very experienced in this program, what kind of wisdom are you trying to impart amongst your position groups before you, eventually make your way out of here?
It's never going to be easy. Never going to be easy, So just don't give in. It's going to have ups and downs, trials and tribulations. You're going to have highs, going to have lows. Just stay in it. Just keep going. It's going to have that breakthrough. Just keep working. Just perfect your craft and, just show the coaches that, you're really investing to this team, the program, the hard way. And just make plays when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I would say just perspective, like I said before. I've been through 3-9 and 22, and then we had both winning records in the past 2 years. So, even if it's a down year, you can always have next year, especially with the younger guys. Just keep in perspective that way.
Thank you guys.
Sure,
Thanks.